So my name is Harsh. I'm from Mumbai, India. I'm deeply interested into robotics and electronics. I started my own company back in 2018. That company provided a free space to young kids so that they can utilize my space and my resources to build ideas of the next generation. I had an idea of improving tidal energy. My basic idea is to remove the barriers between tidal energy and reusing it entirely. I'm into the development phase, making a generator which will be then put into the rivers and the seabeds so that it can generate electricity in high tide as well as in the low tide. So my name is Harsh Chaudhari. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I'm deeply interested into robotics and electronics since I was like, a little kid. And then I started my own company when back in 2018. So that company provided a free space to young kids so that they can utilize my space and my resources to build ideas of the next generation. So that's not my idea, but yeah, just a little background about myself. So my current idea is that before 3 or 4 months, it came to my realization that coal coal is depleting, right? Uh, in the world, coal is depleting quite dramatically, and that is why I had an idea of um, improving tidal energy, which is at the same place where wind energy was 20 to 25 years ago. It is still into the development space. So my basic idea is to remove the barriers between tidal energy and reusing it entirely. So about 40% of the world's population stays just under 100 miles from the ocean. And that is also a good reason to use tidal energy so that we can transfer it very easily without any power loss. And and the other reason being the the input we have to give into the thermal power plants, like the thousands of tons of coal every day, the thousands of tons of water, so that it can generate electricity for us. It is not very efficient in terms of the natural resources that we use, that we put into it. So my basic idea was to cut it off entirely, the thermal energy thing. So what I did was, I'm into the development phase of making a machine, making a generator which will be then put into the rivers and the seabeds so that it can generate electricity in high tide as well as in the low tide, and of course in the transition from high tide to a low tide and vice versa. So I have a prototype. I did the testing few months before. Um, it is this way. I did the testing few months before, about 100 kilometers away from my home. I did it in an ocean, if you would, and it worked pretty well. And the amount of current I got was 240 volts AC, and which is the same current we use here in India. So it's a pretty good thing, right? So then now me and my dad are planning to get it, into the commercial thing. We are planning to get into the commercial stage. Um, so we are planning to make a generator, if you will, which will provide electricity at the most lowest cost as possible. Because here in India, electricity is like 10 cents per unit, and I want to make it like 3 or 4 cents a unit. Because if I use this technology, the tidal energy technology, I'm not giving any input. It's the only money I'm charging is the machinery I have bought for it, and then some amount of maintenance I'm going to put into it. That's it. And unlike thermal energy, which requires like tons of money per day, and that is why they are costly, right? So my idea is to set up energy power plants near my area so that the people, because of course right now as well, people around my area, I live in the coastal region, by the way. So the people around my area are not having the access to electricity still, like continuous electricity they have not been provided by the government yet. So my idea was to just give a backup to their livelihood, right? So to give a backup to the electricity situation over there so that they can live a proper life, right? And not a miserable one. So it is all about that, about the energy generation prospects, solving the entire this dilemma of energy generation by renewable resources. And of course, I've solved quite a lot of problems in this journey as well. Like there is a lot of rusting when you take things in the seawater, right? So I have developed a technology of cathodic protection, we call it. So we make the entire structure of the generator a cathode, and that prevents it from rusting. And then also I've solved the problem of the sound generated by the generator, so that the fishes that use echolocation, like dolphins and stuff like that, which use echolocation to catch their prey, won't get triggered by the vibrations by the generator. So I have minimized the vibrations removed by the generator. And it is a thing which floats on water, so that we don't care if it is a high tide or a low tide. It will work 24 hours a day, because even if it is a low tide, the tides are still going on way back into the sea, but they are going on. So my idea was to make a thing which will be fairly reliable, um, and which will provide us the um, which will give us the uh, you know energy at a cheaper cost, and much the I just want to increase the reliability of how people think of electricity generation is right now. So that is all about my idea. And I am planning to take it to commercial stage, and I have gathered the expenses for it. So it is around $150,000, and for the first plant to be set it up. And the government over here is quite supportive of me. And I'm like, I'm coming into the newspapers and the news channels every single day, because they love my idea. And the mayor of my city, the mayor of my town are quite supportive of me, and they are granting me the permission to set up this energy plants at the coastal areas. So that is the thing going on right now. Yeah, that is all what it is.